Welcome to the fifth episode of the Cognitive Mode. In today's topic, we are going to cover three aspects: hygiene, health, and mental well being. These three topics or these three aspects they gained prominence during the COVID pandemic in the last 2 to 3 years. So, we'll take a snapshot from the COVID pandemic on these three topics and link it to ancient Indian literature. We'll take a story from the ancient Indian literature linking the same. So hygiene was one of the most important factors during COVID pandemic because we were supposed to sanitize ourselves to be away from the virus. Sanitization was given a lot of importance. Hygiene, personal hygiene was given a lot of importance. It was directly related to being affected by the virus. If we were not hygienic or if we didn't maintain this basic hygiene or sanitization protocol, the probability of catching the virus was very high. So that is how hygiene and health was directly related. And mental well-being, the third aspect, was also related to COVID because the fear of virus affected many people emotionally and mentally, and also the socio-economic impact. People lost their jobs, the social isolation, it led to a lot of mental health issues. So we see that this virus created a lot of socio-economic impacts and it affected people mentally as well. So now if you go to ancient Indian literature, these three aspects has been actually covered in an ancient Indian literature as well. So the story is from Mahabharata. The beauty of Indian literature is there will be a story, and inside that there will be another story. We need to unwrap layer by layer, then only we'll come to know the takeaway or crux from each layer. So the first layer of the story is from Mahabharata. In Mahabharata, we know that the five brothers, the Pandavas, they lost the game of dice and they were sent into exile. They were sent into forest by the Kauravas. So they were staying in the forest. The eldest of the brothers, the Pandava brothers, that is Dharmaputra Yudhishthira, he was actually lamenting over his hardship that he was supposed to rule the kingdom. He is a king and he is supposed to rule the kingdom, but he's staying in this forest as a hermit. So he has come through such bad times. They have come through such bad times. They are facing so much hardship in life. And it's a natural human tendency that whenever we are going through hard times, we tend to say that there's no one in the world who has faced so much hardship as I have faced. So that's the natural human tendency. So Dharmaputra also, he's saying that there's no one in the world who has faced as much as hardship as I have faced. So because of which his mental and emotional well-being was not so good. It was going down. At that point of time, luckily he had the company of learned people with him. And one of the sages, he's counseling Dharmaputra at this point. So what does he counsel him? He's telling him the story of King Nala. This is the second layer. King Nala was married to Damayanti. This we have seen in the earlier video. So King Nala married Damayanti. The Devas had actually come down for the Swayamvara of Damayanti because they wanted to marry Damayanti. She was known for her beauty. But when they see that Damayanti is married to Nala, they go back. On their way back, they see Kali. In this story, Kali has been personified. The Kali Yug Kali has been personified over here. Even he wanted to marry Damayanti because she was known for her beauty. So he is coming for the Swayamvara. But he is very late. So the Devas tell Kali that it is better you go back because Damayanti has already been married to Nala. There's no use of you going now. So Kali was actually jealous over here that he wanted to teach Nala a lesson. So he goes to Nala's kingdom. You can compare Kali to virus. A virus will attack you. The COVID could attack you only if we didn't maintain the hygiene factor. That is, if we didn't sanitize ourselves. So similarly, Kali went to Nala's kingdom with the perspective that he will attack Nala. But that was not possible for him because Nala was a very benevolent king and a very disciplined person. There was no lapse from his end. So he couldn't attack him for 12 long years. It is said that once King Nala, he used the washroom, and as per the Indian scriptures, once you go to the washroom, you're supposed to wash your feet, hand and your face. King Nala forgot to wash his feet. So what happens is, his feet is polluted or unhygienic, and Kali catches hold of King Nala from his feet because that was unhygienic or polluted. That starts the downfall of King Nala, and he goes through a very bad phase. He lost his kingdom, he lost his wealth, he forgot his wife, like who his wife was. He became insane, he forgot that he himself was a king. He was wandering in the forest with hardly anything to wear, like an insane man. So the sage over here, the counselor over here, is counseling Yudhishthira or Dharmaputra that King Nala has gone through such bad phase that he had no good counselors. The story goes on which says that Nala, how he came out of this bad phase, then he regained his kingdom, then he ruled his kingdom for a very long period. So that is how the story concludes. But at this phase, Dharmaputra is told that you are lucky that you have such counselors with you. So if you see Nala's story, he had gone through worse phase than you. So that is what Dharmaputra has been counseled over here. So in the second layer, that is the story of King Nala, we see three aspects: hygiene, health, and mental well-being. Just that King Nala forgot to wash his feet, the hygiene factor comes into force, because of which his health was impacted, because the virus or Kali caught hold of him, and that caused his downfall. And at the end, he became almost insane. He was wandering like an insane man in the forest. That affected his mental well-being. So, hygiene, health, and mental well-being is covered in this story of King Nala. So, the second layer. Now, if we go back to the first layer of Dharmaputra, we see there are two more factors which are covered, two more takeaways from that story. When these counselors are counseling, when this sage is counseling Dharmaputra, he's telling the story of King Nala. There's a particular phrase which goes like this: Karkodagasya nagasya damyantya nalasya cha rituparna rajarishe kirtanam kalinashanam. So Dharmaputra has been advised that you read the story of King Nala, Kirtanam Kalinashanam. So if you read the story of King Nala, you'll be able to gain that confidence or momentum to come out of your bad times. So over here, the story of King Nala is given as a self-help book to Dharmaputra. That is what they are saying, Kirtanam. Kirtanam means you basically read the book. It's like a self-help book. So what we understand is the concept of self-help book was prominent even in those days. It's not today. It's not a new concept. It was prominent even in those days. The wordings or nomenclature is different, that's it. This is one aspect which we see from the first layer of story. And second aspect what we see is Dharmaputra was a highly knowledgeable and a very sagacious personality. But even he had gone through very bad emotional phase. And there were counselors who could advise him, and they were advising him how he could come out of that bad phase. So when a great king like Dharmaputra required counseling for his mental emotional well-being, in today's time it is unfortunate that mental well-being is not given so much importance in India. If someone says that they are facing or going through anxiety attack or depression, it is looked down upon. But in ancient Indian literature, this was given a lot of importance. Even a great king like Dharmaputra required counseling and help. So I think we need to take these aspects into today's society, and we need to give mental well-being more importance. It should be given much more importance than all other factors. So this is what we like to convey from this story. Thank you.